how you can package your offerings as a business coach. What you don't want to do is be random. So in this training, I'm going to kind of break down for you kind of what you need to think about, how you need to process how you can serve and how you can help a business succeed, right? So randomness, it's very natural and very normal in the very beginning of a coaching practice. To just attempt to, you're doing this way over here for this client, this way over here for that client, and all of a sudden, when you get 4 or 5 clients, everything's random, this, that, and the other, and you really don't want to do that. You really want to have a solid set offerings of how you can serve and how you can help a business to be able to grow. Okay. And so one of the things that we talk about is something that's called the value ladder. Perhaps you've heard of that before. This is essentially the different types of ways through value that you're going to be able to work with a business. Starting at the bottom of the ladder is going to be a lesser expensive offering than the top of the ladder, right? And depending upon what you want to do and how you want to build your coaching business is going to somewhat determine how many steps are on the ladder. All right, so we talk about this in our business coaching community. So part of our systems and our resources and our done-for-you process, we have different options that a coach can use. So regardless of who you're working with, if you're working on your own, creating your own stuff, or working with someone like us, you definitely want to have different ways that you're going to be able to engage with the business. Now, let me first say, there is one caveat and asterisk to all this. Some coaches they don't want to do it a certain way. They only I really only want to serve, this is how I want to coach this. And if that's you, great. Understand that may filter out how many businesses that you're going to be able to work if you don't have an option that's available for them. But with that said, we do have coaches on our team that they're like, we only do group coaching. That's the only way that I'm going to work with businesses because I've done the one-on-one game. I don't want to do that anymore. I've done fractional work. I don't want to do that anymore. I really want to just do a group style and create a lifestyle of coaching business and move on. And if that's you, fantastic. So you do, to some degree, have to make a decision upon what do you want to offer? How do you want to spend your time? How do you want to make the investment of how you're going to work with businesses and helping them grow? Okay. So that aside, I'm going to share with you what you need to think about from that value ladder, get my words out, from that value ladder offering. And then I'll even share with you, if you're interested, if you're taking a look at our done-for-you resources, how that looks like in a systematic approach with a platform that we use. And then you can make a decision upon what you want to do. Okay. And so, number one, it's about value. That's why it's called the value ladder. Number two, it's about serving. Okay. And so it's really easy when you're building your own coaching business. We make it all about us and how many clients I want, what I'm going to charge, how much money I'm going to make. Those are the after effects, as far as I'm concerned, upon how you're going to actually work with the business. The point is, you want to think about them first. Have a serve first mentality, attitude. Have a thought leadership perspective about what you're going to do. At least that's my style. That's how we coach and train with our coaching team, is you really want to bring value to the business. But the next question is going to be, how? How am I going to do that? And in what ways? All right. So when you look at the value ladder, we're going to start at the top. We're going to work our way down. At the top of a value ladder typically is one-on-one coaching or even fractional coaching if you decide to do that. And real quick, if you're curious, well, what's the difference between fractional coaching and one-on-one? So one-on-one business coaching, where we're sitting down with a business, we're talking about helping them to grow profitability. Think about it like this. You're on the sidelines coaching the game. You got the headset on, you got the clipboard. We're calling the plays in on the field about what they need to do. So when we're working with a business, we're leading them and guiding them, in our case, through a structured step-by-step process to help them understand what they need to do next in implementing a business strategy. Okay, that's number one. Fractional work is, as the coach, I'm going to get onto the field and I'm going to play part of the game with them, which just simply means I'm going to have more time invested. I'm going to do more things, not just with them, but also for them at some level. Okay. And so you have to determine, and what that means is, by the way, is in a traditional one-to-one coaching model, coaching, 3 to 4 times per week in hourly sessions. The average coach charges around $2,000 per month for business coaching one-on-one. fractional work, where you're going to do more things with them and roll your sleeves up, if you will, you usually start getting into the $3,000 to $5,000 range, even up to $10,000 a month. Again, it starts to take on a different look, because you are not just showing them what they need to do step by step, but you're actually going to do some of that work yourself. Let me give an example. Let's say that you're helping the business. Let's say the strategy that you're working on is cutting costs, cost mitigation. One of those steps in our systems, we have a full-blown, predefined step-by-step process that a coach uses. That's why all the resources are already done for you. So step one of that is going to be the potential of renegotiating contracts with suppliers, if that business has suppliers, or they're purchasing merchandise or whatever, depending upon the business, right? And so there's a way that we're going to interact. We're going to call some of these folks, and we're going to renegotiate with the goal of reducing what I'm paying for a chemical or a product or a service or whatever. Well, in the coaching arrangement, I'm going to instruct the business to do, here's what you need to do. You need to call your suppliers and your vendors and your service providers, and we're going to walk through this conversation about the potential of reducing what they are going to do. In a fractional relationship, I might get on the phone, or I'm going to guide them and be with them and let it be way more ingrained. It just depends upon the actual relationship. So there's an example between that. So at the top of the ladder is one-on-one and or fractional relationship, okay? The next step down would be something that we call group coaching. So like, for instance, in our done-for-you system that we call the focused method, we have a group coaching software. It's a great way to be able to strategically walk through weekly coaching in a group, whether you have 2 people or 200, doesn't matter. And all the resources are there, the tools, the emails go out, everything, right? You can even, in our world, you can even upload your own content if you also have other content that you want to provide to that group, okay? So regardless, again, if you're using a system like ours or you're doing your own thing, the next ladder down is group. In most cases, a lot of coaches will charge in a traditional group model somewhere around $495 to $795 per month for group coaching. There's some differences there, meaning some individuals will also add in a monthly call just as a touch point, because you do want to develop a relationship with those that are in your group, because the goal is, if you're doing a true value ladder, is pulling them from your group up to your one-on-one offerings, if that's what you are going to do. So you've got one-on-one coaching. I'm coaching you, holding your hand with you, working with you, or whether it's fractional or not. Now the next one down, I've got group coaching. I'm going to charge somewhere around the $495, $795 amount, just depending upon different offerings I'm going to include inside there. Okay. Next ladder down is something that we call micro coaching. In our world, we call it flash coaching, but it is a term called micro. It's essentially setting up an opportunity. And this is usually for either really small businesses, or perhaps that business just needs like one thing or two. They just don't need a lot of time from you. And you can either charge like annually for a service like this, $1,000 a year, $2,000, $2,500, whatever. Doesn't matter what you want to charge. The point is, it's a lesser fee. Remember, you got one-on-one to $2,000 and north. You've got group that's $495 to $795 in most cases. And you have micro coaching that you can charge whatever you want, depending upon how you want to package it up. In our world, we call that flash coaching, and it gives the coach the ability to work with somebody at a smaller level. Well, usually around like, $1,000 to $2,000 for X amount of like 15-minute windows just to ask questions about strategy. And then we give them a kind of a worksheet and a workthrough based upon different strategies to work on, and they get a little bit of access to you when they need to do that. Lots of ways that you can package that around, but we have that in a complete and total done-for-you box that we call flash coaching, okay? The next one, we'll get into it's do-it-yourself, all right? This essentially is you having some type of apparatus. You can call these courses, you can call them books, even you can call it a number of different ways. I know a lot of guys who do things on their own, and they've packaged up a book that they've written, podcasts that they've done, some video trainings, a course they built, and it allows a business to go through it on their own, just like a self-guided course. We provide in our done-for-you system something very similar to that that's called an online business academy. Resources, tools, video modules, all designed for a business to be able to go through it on their own. And of course, it's all automated. Our team puts it all together for a coach. The coach doesn't have to fool with any of it, right? But it gives someone the ability, let's say you're working with them and maybe they're a startup, right? And maybe that you do have a heart and you do want to encourage and help those who are just kind of getting their business off the ground, but you don't want to spend a lot of, they can't afford $2,000-$3,000 a month, but they could afford, $197 a month or something like that, right? Well, you can put them into a done-for-you course-based style approach, and now you're building a relationship with them. No, you're not going to make a ton of money off charging $97 or $197, but you do it, have it there available. We encourage and coach our team to use it even as a downsell strategy. So if somebody says, maybe you thought that you were going to be able to work with them one-on-one or even in a group way, but it still just wasn't the right fit, you can offer this as an opportunity to either begin the relationship or whatever. So there's the value ladder. So now let's go backwards from the bottom to the top. You've got a do-it-yourself version. You have a micro-style flash coaching that gets a little bit of your time. Then you have a group coaching opportunity. And then you have one-on-one and or fractional services. Again, you have to determine from all that what you're willing, what you want to do. But here's the bigger point. When you have a system, tools, and process and structure, it really does enable you to work and move around to put people in the right places if you feel driven to do that. Again, we have some guys who are like, I am fractional only. We've got coaches that are like, I'm group only. You can do that as well. But we have many of them that want to be able to work with businesses at different levels, and especially in the very beginning of your coaching journey. It's a great opportunity when you have some lower level just to either begin the relationship again, or small businesses who can't afford one-on-one fees, if you will. Now you have an option. Okay, so you got choices. Either A, you got to go build all this and create this on your own, or B, you can engage with someone like us if it works out, or if it's something that you feel drawn and called to be able to do, where you are kind of like a franchise, but it's not a franchise. All the resources, all the services, the platforms, the technology, the tools, it's all completely done for you. You just got to make a decision as to what works best for you, regardless of what you do. Whether you're working with somebody on a done-for-you scenario where it's provided for you, or you're creating all the tools alone, having a different, packages, if you will, but you keep a structure so that you're not random. If you have a strong value offering, a value ladder offering, it's no longer random. You've got different ways that you're going to engage with the business community to be able to help them strategically grow profitability, grow their revenues, grow their leadership, their culture, and so on. So that's how it works. That's how you need to think. You need to think about, how am I going to bring value in the best way to fit that individual, where it's not just random. It really is structured in a way based upon where they're at in their business, their leadership journey, and so on. Okay. If you're interested in what we do, and if you want to take a peek at it, understand better what's done for you system mean, depending upon where you got this video, it may have come to you in an email. There's a link there. You can schedule some time, or you can go to businesscoachmastery.com. That's businesscoachmastery.com. And there's some resources that you can get to learn more about what we do. And you can even chat with us if you're interested in doing that as well. Okay. Until next time, take care.